The Komodo dragon, Varanus komodoensis, also known as the Komodo monitor, is a member of the monitor lizard family Varanidae that is endemic to the Indonesian islands of Komodo, Rinca, Flores, and Gili Matang. It is the largest extant species of lizard, growing to a maximum length of 3 meters, 10 feet, and weighing up to approximately 70 kilograms, 150 pounds. As a result of their size, Komodo dragons are apex predators and dominate the ecosystems in which they live. Komodo dragons hunt and ambush prey including invertebrates, birds, and mammals. It has been claimed that they have a venomous bite. There are 2 glands in the lower jaw that secrete several toxic proteins. The biological significance of these proteins is disputed, but the glands have been shown to secrete an anticoagulant. Komodo dragons' group behavior in hunting is exceptional in the reptile world. The diet of Komodo dragons mainly consists of Javan Rusa, Rusa timorensis, though they also eat considerable amounts of carrion. Komodo dragons also occasionally attack humans. Mating begins between May and August, and the eggs are laid in September. As many as 20 eggs are deposited at a time in an abandoned megapode nest or in a self-dug nesting hole. The eggs are incubated for 7 to 8 months, hatching in April, when insects are most plentiful. Young Komodo dragons are vulnerable and dwell in trees to avoid predators, such as cannibalistic adults. They take 8 to 9 years to mature and are estimated to live up to 30 years. Komodo dragons were first recorded by Western scientists in 1910. Their large size and fearsome reputation make them popular zoo exhibits. In the wild, their range has contracted due to human activities, and is likely to contract further from the effects of climate change. Due to this, they are listed as endangered by the IUCN Red List. They are protected under Indonesian law, and Komodo National Park was founded in 1980 to aid protection efforts. Komodo dragons were first documented by Europeans in 1910, when rumors of a land crocodile reached Lieutenant van Stein van Hensbroek of the Dutch colonial administration. Widespread notoriety came after 1912, when Peter Owens, the director of the Zoological Museum of Bogor, Java, published a paper on the topic after receiving a photo and a skin from the lieutenant, as well as 2 other specimens from a collector. The first 2 live Komodo dragons to arrive in Europe were exhibited in the Reptile House at London Zoo when it opened in 1927. Joan Beecham Proctor made some of the earliest observations of these animals in captivity, and she demonstrated their behavior at a scientific meeting of the Zoological Society of London in 1928. The Komodo dragon was the driving factor for an expedition to Komodo Island by W. Douglas Burden in 1926. After returning with 12 preserved specimens and 2 live ones, this expedition provided the inspiration for the 1933 movie King Kong. 8. It was also Burden who coined the common name, Komodo dragon. 3 of his specimens were stuffed and are still on display in the American Museum of Natural History. The Dutch island administration, realizing the limited number of individuals in the wild, soon outlawed sport hunting and heavily limited the number of individuals taken for scientific study. Collecting expeditions ground to a halt with the occurrence of World War II, not resuming until the 1950s and 1960s, when studies examined the Komodo dragon's feeding behavior, reproduction, and body temperature. At around this time, an expedition was planned in which a long-term study of the Komodo dragon would be undertaken. This task was given to the Offenburg family, who stayed on Komodo Island for 11 months in 1969. During their stay, Walter Offenburg and his assistant Putra Sastrawan captured and tagged more than 50 Komodo dragons. Research from the Offenburg expedition proved to be enormously influential in raising Komodo dragons in captivity. Research after that of the Offenburg family has shed more light on the nature of the Komodo dragon, with biologists such as Claudio Cioffi continuing to study the creatures. The evolutionary development of the Komodo dragon started with the genus Varanus, which originated in Asia about 40 million years ago and migrated to Australia, where it evolved into giant forms, the largest of all being the recently extinct Megalania, helped by the absence of competing placental carnivorans. Around 15 million years ago, a collision between the continental land masses of Australia and Southeast Asia allowed these larger varanids to move back into what is now the Indonesian archipelago, extending their range as far east as the island of Timor. The Komodo dragon is believed to have differentiated from its Australian ancestors about 4 million years ago. However, fossil evidence from Queensland suggests the Komodo dragon actually evolved in Australia, before spreading to Indonesia. Dramatic lowering of sea level during the last glacial period uncovered extensive stretches of continental shelf that the Komodo dragon colonized, becoming isolated in their present island range as sea levels rose afterwards. Fossils of extinct Pliocene species of similar size to the modern Komodo dragon, such as Varanus civilensis, have been found in Eurasia as well, indicating that they fared well even in environments containing competition, such as mammalian carnivores, until the climate change and extinction events that marked the beginning of the Pleistocene. In the wild, adult Komodo dragons usually weigh around 70 kilograms, 150 pounds, although captive specimens often weigh more. According to Guinness World Records, an average adult male will weigh 79 to 91 kilograms, 174 to 201 pounds, and measure 2.59 meters, 8.5 feet, while an average female will weigh 68 to 73 kilograms, 150 to 161 pounds, and measure 2.29 meters, 7.5 feet. The largest verified specimen in captive was 3.13 meters, 10.3 feet, long and weighed 166 kilograms, 366 pounds, including its undigested food. The largest wild specimen had a length 3.04 meters, 10.0 feet, a snout vent length, SVL, 1.54 meters, 5 feet 1 inch, and a mass of 81.5 kilograms, 180 pounds, excluding stomach contents. The heaviest reached a mass in 87.4 kilograms, 193 pounds. The study noted that weights greater than 100 kilograms, 220 pounds, were possible but only after the animal had consumed a large meal. The Komodo dragon has a tail as long as its body, as well as about 60 frequently replaced, serrated teeth that can measure up to 2.5 centimeters, 1 in length. Its saliva is frequently blood-tinged because its teeth are almost completely covered by gingival tissue that is naturally lacerated during feeding. It also has a long, yellow, deeply forked tongue. Komodo dragon skin is reinforced by armored scales, which contain tiny bones called osteoderms that function as a sort of natural chainmail. The only areas lacking osteoderms on the head of the adult Komodo dragon are around the eyes, nostrils, mouth margins, and pineal eye, a light-sensing organ on the top of the head. Where lizards typically have one or two varying patterns or shapes of osteoderms, Komodos have 4, rosette, platy, dendritic, and vermiform. This rugged hide makes Komodo dragon skin a poor source of leather. Additionally, these osteoderms become more extensive and variable in shape as the Komodo dragon ages, ossifying more extensively as the lizard grows. These osteoderms are absent in hatchlings and juveniles, indicating that the natural armor develops as a product of age and competition between adults for protection in intraspecific combat over food and mates. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next video.